she'll be the biggest female star ever because she can pull up from the parking lot.
She is a killer. She is stone cold.
Caitlin, man, she's a phenomenon.
She's the best female collegiate player ever.
Caitlin Clark is capable of...
Caitlin Clark's official WNBA rookie salary was a shocking $76,000. For the most hyped athlete in a generation, it was a slap in the face. But this financial insult was just the opening act. What followed was a brutal campaign of on-court cheap shots, bitter jealousy from established veterans, and a stunning rejection from the one team everyone thought she was destined for. This isn't the story of a triumphant hero's welcome, it's the story of how the system tried to break its own savior.
Knowing that before Caitlin was Rihanna and Diana and Sue and Rebecca and all of those, Dawn Staley as a player, where does it go? Can it continue to climb, and will it climb on the back of now Paige Bueckers?
For anyone questioning the Caitlin Clark effect, we now have people wanting to watch golf because of her. We saw the kind of offer that Ice Cube made to Caitlin to play in the Big Three. That is $5 million to play 3.
The final year of Caitlin Clark's college career wasn't just basketball, it was a cultural reset. She was a force of nature, a human highlight reel pulling up from the logo and draining shots that defied physics. The numbers were staggering. Her games didn't just get good ratings, they broke the entire system.
I'm so happy for her to get the 28 flipping million.
The 2024 NCAA championship game drew nearly 19 million viewers, making it the most watched basketball game, college or pro, men's or women's, in 5 years. She single-handedly commanded more attention than the NBA Finals. So when she declared for the WNBA draft, it was seen as the arrival of a savior, a transcendent star destined to elevate the entire league. But what awaited her wasn't a red carpet, but a brutal reality check.
Clark snags another honor. She's made the Forbes 30 under 30 list.
The first crack in the fairy tale narrative appeared moments after she was drafted #1 by the Indiana Fever. As the world celebrated, the details of her contract leaked, and the internet exploded in disbelief. Her rookie salary? A mere $76,535. For the biggest star in the sport, a player generating millions in ticket sales and media rights, it felt like a statistical error. The public outcry was immediate and visceral.
Than the NBA. So I was like, oh, what's she going to get paid? Because finally, you can get a real paycheck. And then I saw it and I was like, this can't be right. Because this is what it is.
People compared her salary to that of the NBA's #1 pick, Victor Wembanyama, who signed a contract worth over $55 million. Even President Joe Biden weighed in, stating that women in sports are not being paid their fair share. The shocking figure wasn't just a number. It was an insult that exposed the deep systemic chasm between how women's sports are valued compared to men's, and Caitlin Clark had just become the unwilling poster child for that disparity.
These are some of the comments right here. She doesn't need to play for that whack job. She should just buy a rivalry. Exactly. Caitlin getting that type of bag. Sissy probably isn't this vindictive, but if it was me, if they wanted me outside, I'll demand a full retraction and apology from Gino for his comments on the Dan Patrick Show, which we'll get to that in a hot second.
As the debate over her salary raged, a stunning offer emerged from an unexpected corner, one that threw the WNBA's entire pay structure into chaos. Hip-hop legend and founder of the Big Three Basketball League, Ice Cube, publicly offered Caitlin Clark $5 million to play just 10 games. This wasn't just a publicity stunt, it was a calculated move that served as a massive wake-up call.
So Gino Auriemma talked about Caitlin Clark again.
Ice Cube made it clear he saw her true market value. The offer was a direct challenge to the WNBA, highlighting that an outside entity was willing to pay her nearly 70 times her official salary. It presented a tempting escape route, a glimpse into a world where her talent was matched by her paycheck. But while the financial battles were being fought in the headlines, a much more physical war was about to begin on the hardwood.
If you're a college player and you're a great college player, like Caitlin was, the delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. There were actually odds on she's third or fourth in betting odds on being MVP at a WNBA.
From the moment she stepped onto a WNBA court, it was clear she had a target on her back. The physicality was relentless, but one incident sent shockwaves through the sports world and ignited a firestorm of controversy. During a game against the Chicago Sky, player Kennedy Carter, without any pretense of a basketball play, blindsided an unsuspecting Clark with a vicious hip check, sending her to the floor. The referee initially missed the call, and Carter was seen on the bench mouthing obscenities about Clark.
The basketball. Watch Caitlin Clark, left side. She doesn't even look at her, waves her hand as if to say, I don't care about you, I'm not defending you.
It wasn't just a hard foul, it felt personal. It was a message. Commentators like Stephen A. Smith decried it as a cheap shot, and the incident blew up online, with fans and analysts arguing that veteran players were intentionally trying to injure the league's new golden goose. The league eventually upgraded the foul to a flagrant one, but the damage was done. The narrative was set. Caitlin Clark wasn't just playing against opponents, she was playing against a league that seemed to resent her very presence.
It's player salaries. People wonder, why are NBA player salaries 100 times higher than WNBA salaries? Because the TV money was 100 times higher in the NBA than it was in the WNBA.
The Kennedy Carter incident was just the tip of the iceberg, fueling a growing conspiracy that a wave of jealousy was sweeping through the league. Her long-standing rivalry with Angel Reese, which had captivated the nation in college, was now amplified on the professional stage. Every hard foul and every post-game comment was dissected under a microscope.
It is a little that Bird Magic moment, if you recall, from 1979 when those two rookies came in from a big college rivalry, one white, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another.
The debate was fierce. Was this genuine resentment from veterans who felt overshadowed after years of toiling in relative obscurity, or was it just the natural order of a hyper-competitive league, where rookies, no matter how famous, have to earn their respect? Many veterans argued that the physical welcome was a rite of passage, the same treatment legends before her had received. But with the unprecedented media spotlight on Clark, every push and shove felt different. It felt like a deliberate attempt to tear down the very person who was lifting the league to new heights.
Clark finished up one of the most remarkable years of basketball playing in quite.
While the on-court battles and salary disputes painted a grim picture, a corporate giant was about to make a move that would validate Clark's star power beyond any doubt. Nike, the undisputed king of sports apparel, stepped in with a lifeline that was nothing short of monumental. They signed Caitlin Clark to an 8-year contract worth a staggering $28 million, complete with her own signature shoe. This wasn't just an endorsement, it was an anointment. Only a handful of the greatest female athletes in history, like Serena Williams and Diana Taurasi, had ever received their own signature shoe line.
Whatever really happens with Caitlin Clark, I would say her big thing is to be ready for the WNBA season. And people are like, why? She's only making $70,000 in the WNBA. What is the point of her worrying about that league rather than trying to push for other leagues and other ways to make?
The deal was a powerful statement. While the league's pay scale and some of its players seemed to diminish her value, the biggest and smartest brand in sports was betting its future on her. It proved her influence transcended basketball. She was a cultural and commercial force, with her financial future secured. The next logical step was representing her country on the world's biggest stage, but the biggest rejection of her young career was just around the corner. As the Paris Olympics approached, the sports world waited for what seemed like an inevitable announcement: Caitlin Clark would be on Team USA. Her inclusion felt like a foregone conclusion. She was the most popular basketball player in the world, and her presence would guarantee massive ratings and global attention. Then the news broke, and it was a bombshell. She had been left off the roster. The official justification from the selection committee cited her lack of senior national team experience and a desire to maintain the existing chemistry of a veteran-heavy squad. But the public wasn't buying it. The decision was met with widespread outrage, viewed as a colossal mistake driven by petty politics and a fear of her overwhelming spotlight. Pundits and fans alike argued that leaving the most famous player on the planet at home was an act of self-sabotage, a misguided attempt to protect the old guard at the expense of progress. It was the ultimate snub, a final, stunning rejection from the very establishment she was single-handedly revitalizing. Caitlin Clark ran a gauntlet in her first few months as a pro. She was handed an insultingly low salary, targeted with cheap shots on the court, and publicly snubbed by the national team. By all accounts, it looked like a coordinated effort to humble the young superstar. But a funny thing happened on the way to her downfall. She started winning, not just games, but the entire war for the future of the sport. The Caitlin Clark effect is no longer a theory, it's an undeniable reality. WNBA viewership has more than doubled on every network. Teams are moving their games to larger NBA arenas just to accommodate the demand for tickets to see her play, with prices soaring into the hundreds of dollars. And perhaps most telling of all, the league, which had resisted the expense for years, finally announced it would be implementing full-time charter flights for all teams, a move widely attributed to the safety concerns and logistical chaos created by Clark's unprecedented level of celebrity. They may not have wanted to roll out the red carpet for her, but she forced them to build a whole new runway. The question is no longer if the WNBA can handle Caitlin Clark, it's how high she will force them all to fly.